God, please, no! 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 No!
Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the French Tier 8 medium tank, the Bourrasque. Now this is a tank that came out recently with the new season pass and the new season, and it's one that I've already reviewed on the channel, so you go check that review out. And this tank is absolutely fabulous. I love it. Is it the is it the best tank out there at Tier 8? Is it the one that everybody should rush out and buy? I don't think it is. I don't think it's the best Tier 8 out there. And it takes a lot to get the best out of it. But it's a hell of a lot of fun. And it's one of the most fun tanks for me to take out. And that's because of its speed, that double tap. The reload's slow as, the accuracy's poor, the aim time's horrific. But generally, I have so much fun with this tank. The camo's amazing, like I say, the speed, the ability to flank. And it means you can just keep repositioning yourself all the time and popping shots and just dealing damage. I don't know. I don't know what it is about it truly, but I just have so much fun with it. So much fun. But like I say, is it the best premium tank out there? Probably not. I mean, there's a lot of better tanks out there. Like the Stone Cold is so much better than this tank. The Stone Cold just laughs at matchups. It laughs at Tier 8 matchups. It sits there going, lol, I'll just wreck everyone then. When it gets bottom tier, it can still do a lot of damage. When this tank's bottom tier, it's a little bit more of a struggle because the bad accuracy mixed with the 190 pen does struggle a little bit. The 240 premium pen you get is nice, but again, like I said, the accuracy is poor, so when you're having to shoot at weak spots of tier 10s, yeah, it gets a little bit painful. Whereas like sort of stuff like the Stone Cold, the Ragnarok, the Draugen are all accurate enough. Obviously the Draugen has, you'd have to switch to APCR, the standard rounds instead of the Hesh, but you get the point. They're all accurate enough that they can still hit the weak spots of the tier 10s, and they still can have ridiculously good games quite easily at that tier, whereas this is a lot more of a struggle. As well as the maps, obviously this is going to struggle a lot more on certain maps because it's basically a light tank with a big honking gun. But you're seeing the camo here on proc. Like, we were sat in this bush, and the only reason we got spotted is because that light tank drove in between the gaps in the bushes where we were sat. But we were sat less than 100 metres from that Draugen, and we were able to slap him and not get spotted. It's great. So what we're going to be doing is basically just flanking and spanking. That's what we're going to be doing. We're going to keep getting unspotted, waiting for this reload, and trying to get shots into the back of the people that are on this side. Now, we've managed to push really aggressively down this flank on proc. This shouldn't happen, generally. It's not often that the enemy team just doesn't bother with the 1-2. There's usually quite a lot of people camping in this back area, and yeah, you get wrecked as you try and push it, but they're not. Now, we get unfortunate there that we get the bad accuracy rears its ugly head there. We actually, I think, hit the side of the turret of the Super P and ricocheted. The second one goes in nicely, and he dies to a fire from someone else. But here we're going to move up, we're going to just move into the bushes, try and keep this guy lit up in front of us, and just wait for this reload. And what we're going to do is pull back behind the bush to fire through it. So hopefully we won't get spotted. And there you see, we're firing at this guy, he's outside of our view range. We are firing through the bush, he couldn't see us. And that's where muffled shot comes in handy, which is one of the perks that I run on this tank. Like I say, if you want to see what I run on this tank, go to see the tank review. Yeah, that's where muffled shot and camo came really handy, because obviously camo, I can move down that flank dead easy, not really get unspotted as much. And muffled shot, well, I can pull back behind the bush and not get spotted as easily as I would have done if I hadn't got muffled shot. Now, we got lucky with a nice shot into that Skoda as he pulled back behind the ridgeline there. It doesn't happen often because this gun is terrible, but we managed to get a nice shot in. And we're just trying not to get shot ourselves as we sort of reload here, and we're trying to keep them lit a little bit. So we're going to back up on this ridgeline. We're going to try and light them up a bit more. Then we've got some side shots into this VK450T8, which is exactly what we want. Get some nice shots into him, and we're back on this reload again. We've got the food on straight away to boost this reload up as much as possible. As I say, we're spotting these guys. So, I mean, at the minute, we're up to 2.2k assistance, we're up to 2.8k damage, and there's still a fair amount of health in front of us. But the thing is that their team is losing dramatically. As you can see, the team scores are, well, it's 13-7. But they're also all trapped in this little corner, so if we can just keep them lit, we're going to be farming damage and XPs and spottings for days. Now, we got 2 nice shots into that VK, which was great. At this range with 190 pen, it's not always guaranteed to go into that guy, but, you know, we'll take it. And then all those guys in front of us get shut down, and we're nearly reloading. I'm thinking, right, I want to drop my clip into this charioteer, because it's a charioteer, right? It's easy to pen. So we pop up, we pop one on the move, and unfortunately we miss. Again, it's just bad accuracy mixed with the fact that we decided to keep moving there, and we get a nice shot into the back of the huntsman. And we're on a reload again, so what we're going to do is dip down below this little curves in the earth, in the map, in the ridge lines, whatever you want to call it, just to stay under their gun. And then we're going to move in now that we're nearly reloaded. We're YOLOing into this charioteer. We ram him, we say hi friend, shoot him, kill him, and we try and pop the shot into the VK-4502A's turret, because he is stock, which means he's got like 100mm of turret armour, but unfortunately it bounced. But we finished that game with a very, very nice number of damage and assist. Epic victory, as it says there. We come top, Turkey in third. Nice game. 2 kills, 4.5k damage, 3k assistance, Confederate high caliber, first class, 1997 base XP, and that just shows how ridiculous the ace tanker requirements are at the minute in this tank. It will calm down in the future, because we saw that with the Draugun, for instance, where the first, say, month or two was just nuts to be able to try and get an ace tanker in the tank. Like this tank, 2k base, not enough. 2.1k base, not enough. You need about 2.5k base XP. It was about 2.4, I think, is what I got the ace in it, to get an ace tanker. And yeah, it's just that nuts to be able to get at the minute. So you can have an absolute stonker of a game and you still get a first class. And that's what these two games are. They're absolutely fantastic games that are just first classes because of how ridiculous everyone's doing in this tank at the minute. Because it is the new toy. Like I say, it's a barrel of laughs. It's so much fun to play. It's the difficult tank to get the most out of, I should say. But it's so rewarding to do it. And I think that's why there's so many people playing it at the minute. There's a lot of people playing it very, very well, and they're pushing up these requirements a lot. So we're on steps, and we've made the push up the 9-0, and that's because it's the wonky spawns. So they spawn at J3, we spawn at A7, and that means that we basically get this flank for free. Now, they can have people camping on the K-line up in the hills, and that can be an issue at times, but for the most part, yeah, this is our flank. We can push all the way down it, usually completely unopposed, and then have fun on it, and they usually push up the one line and push across where our cap normally would be. But the thing is, for their team, that push across where our cap normally would be is a very dangerous one, and they can get caught out in the open quite easily. And you can push this side very easily, generally, because you've got this ridge line that we're looking at where this Tiger 131 is, and you can push on that, you know, our side of the ridge and stay safe, and you can push on this side of the ridge, and you use this little ridge line here to stay safe and spot pretty much their whole base, which is great. So this Tiger 131 seems to have had enough. He's YOLOing. We use the good intro clip speed to drop 2 shells into him, and then we run away. We were spotting him up using the bushes, obviously, when we shot him earlier, when he was on that little camper hill ridge line. We pulled back through the bush so that he couldn't spot us, and then we fired. Like I say, that's just what you want to be doing with bush mechanics, camo mechanics. When you get into a bush, don't just sit in the bush and fire. If you can pull back behind it and fire through it after it doesn't become clear anymore, that's what you want to be doing. You want to be firing from that so that basically you don't get spotted, or you decrease your chance of getting spotted by a lot. So that Tiger 131 got crushed. We're now reloading again, and we've just seen where one of the artillery fired from, and I'm thinking, I kind of want that artillery, but what I'm going to do is pull into this bush here, because we did spot that IS earlier on, or should I say he was spotted earlier on, so we knew he was there, so we fully aim our 2 shots, get 2 nice shots into the back of him, and we're just going to sit and wait for the reload to go in, because there's not much we can do. So if this IS decides to stay there, we'll be able to finish him off once we've reloaded, but we've got about 10 seconds left, and it is just waiting for the reload to go in, because that's what is this tank is. Once you've managed to flank people, get nice shots into them, you just got to wait on the reload, because the reload is so slow. It is very, very slow. I mean, obviously that's one of the balancing factors, right? Because otherwise this tank would be ridiculous. but that bad reload mixed with the horrific accuracy and aim time can be frustrating at times, especially on smaller maps where you don't have enough time to aim and you're spotted quite a lot of the time, say like Pilsen for instance. But, you know, like, it's probably the balancing factor in that makes this tank not crazy, and to be honest I think it's probably pretty well balanced. I think my only thing with it is I'd probably want the aim time to be just that little bit better. I don't mind the bad accuracy, just as long as the aim time, you're not sitting around for 3.3 seconds or whatever it is to miss, pretty much. But yeah, as I say, it's balancing in it. So we get 2 nice shots into that STA2, and now again we're just waiting for the reload. They've crushed our A line and B line, and I'm quite worried now that they're going to cap. So I'm kind of just waiting for this reload. I want to get rid of this KV-85 before I move on to try and counter them. So we get a nice shot into the KV-85, finish him off. We get a nice shot again into the IKV. He should have died with that shot, but low rolls, as always, damage RNG in this game with the changes and stuff means that you're just going to low roll all the time. We only rolled for like 286 when we got 360 alpha, and we didn't kill him, and we left him on 7 health. That's just the way it is at the minute. But yeah, now my guys are going to sit in the cap. I'm thinking they're going to go sit in ours now. I don't want to basically let them cap, so I'm going to try and get back into a position where I might be able to reset. My other thought as well is that they might end up trying to go back to reset their own cap. So if I go over here, I might get some shots into them as they try and go back as well. So it's like a double-edged sword here. Well, yeah, double-edged sword. Because at one point, I'm ready to go back and defend the cap if they go and decide to sit in it. On the other one, I'm also in a good position to counter them as they go back towards their cap from our cap. And I can get some nice shots into them. So you see, we've got some great side shots into these guys. We try and get a shot into the STA2 as he's bouncing up and down that ridgeline, but unfortunately we missed. And we unfortunately missed that shell on that Thunderbolt as well. We popped the food to get the food back in, to get the reloaders in as quick as possible. And we're just going to keep, like I say, moving along this ridgeline. And we're making a fatal error here. And if you've spotted it, I didn't spot it obviously at the time when I was doing it, but we're doing it. We're doing it. And that is one shell. Boop. And I'm sitting there going, wait. Oh, I did that. Oh, yep. That happens a lot with this tank because of the shell capacity. I carry like 24 rounds of APCR and 16 rounds of standard, or 20 and 16, one of the two. And it means that if you have these long-winded games where you are firing a lot, you do tend to run out of ammo. Or if you do what I do, where you get into positions where you put one shot into someone, and then you think, the next time I'm going to get to a position to shoot someone, I'm going to be have reloaded 2 shells again, so I may as well reload. It happens so often that I end up having 1 shell left like that, and it's really annoying when you do reload that 1 shell and you don't realise. You're like, oh god, I just wasted all that time. Spent 25 seconds reloading 1 shell for 360. That's bad DPM for you. But we could have killed that STA2 had we realised and loaded 2 shells, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. So now there's only 2 tanks left. There's this tank that was in the cap, and there's the other tank that was over there in the distance at like D2. And we're going to go into the cap to try and find him. He gets spotted. It's a Gorinich, and he is sitting in a strange position. I suppose he's using the rocks to try and keep cover from the 2 guys spotted directly in front of him. So what we're going to do is we've got 240 pens, so this is great for us. We're going to get up behind the Gorinich. He luckily gets trapped by artillery. We try and rush a shot into the back of him. Unfortunately, we hit the ridge line, but we get to finish him off with the 2nd shell. We're just going to go for this guy now. We've got the reload going. We're going to go for this heavy tank that is sat over here. We're basically going to YOLO him with our 2 shells. It is a stockade. He can clip us out, so it is a bit of a danger here, because if he hits us with all 3 shells, we'd be dead. But we've got friends here, so we get 1 in, and we try and go for that 2nd shell, but unfortunately he pulled back beyond the ridge line. But then we do finally get the 2nd shell in, and we aren't going to reload in time to finish him off, I don't think. Well, at this point I'm looking at it going, yeah, there's no way, right? These guys are going to kill him. So we're just going to go for the ram, see if we can kill him that way. We do 0 damage! And our teammate finishes him off. There we go. And that was a great game for the Bourrasque. Showed exactly what it needs to be doing, exactly what it wants to be doing. Flanking and Spankin, getting around left, right and centre, getting those 2 shots into people, keeping the damage flowing. And if you like on Prokhorovka as well, where you're spotting people, you're keeping people lit, you're playing that land tank element to the tank as well. And it is a very fun tank. I really enjoy this thing. It's been one of the better tanks to come out. It's definitely my favourite one out of the season pass, because the 777's okay. It's a little bit lackluster, but it's okay. And I'm not a fan of the M48 120mm myself. This tank has been worth it so much. I really do love it. But like I say, it does take a lot to get the most out of it. So we finished that game with 5.8k, over 2k base, 4 kills, and like I say, it's just mental to get the ace tanker on this thing at the minute. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
A great success!